Hi, Yeti.
Hello, Moses.
How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Hi Yeti show.
Okay, where you go?
Why have I got the voice?
Oh, no.
Oh, the Shiloh Podcast.
Oh, there's gonna be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring Mike over.
He's ready to record.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep?
Your show's getting so international.
Boy, he's had all that shy is right.
Why me, Governor? It's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, my goodness.
Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? Oh, I'm all right. So, what's this episode about? Well, we've got a visitor today, although I'm trying not to involve him in all of the, dramas that happen on the Shy Life Podcast because, well, every time he turns up, something seems to happen. Whether it be Cromitty falling down a well or those infernal podcasters, the poopcasters, who are trying to ruin our reputation on the show, there's all number of things that have happened during his visits. Who am I talking about? Well, it's Uncle Warren, of course. Yes, so he's coming over, and let's run that theme music. When we come back, I'll explain a little more.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
My favorite person is here.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The highlight, the Shiloh.
I'll go anywhere for a taste of it.
Delicious. Hello, Captain.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh my, he hasn't found out my secret. Yes, he has.
I love the Yeti'S. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and meaty and yum, 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 yum.
It was enormous.
I don't think I'm ready to speak about it.
Here comes the grizzly.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I can't wait for it to begin.
I'm just being an alien. I like that.
Hi there.
Taking back
So, listeners, yes, Warren's coming to visit Uncle Warren. We are going to try and talk about a TV year if there's time, but we're going out for lunch, so I'm going to record some of that, hopefully. Anyway, I just want to keep him away from all of the dramas because, he's busy, he works, and he's coming to see me on one of his days off, and the last thing he needs is Yeti Uncle John or Cromitty or some drama or whatever. So let's go meet him, shall we? Let's go and see if his car's showing up. He's got a lovely little Mini, he has. Yeah, it's very nice. A very comfortable ride, I always think. But anyway, so yes, we'll go to lunch and then we'll talk about some TV. And I've got a year in mind that. Well, I do hope they don't keep saying nothing happened this month. But anyway, let's see how it goes. All right. Let's see if our ride has arrived. Okay. Yes. Hello, listeners. Yes, we were being all culinary. That's not easy to say, culinary. Sometimes, do you find that sometimes? The only way to get a word out is to say it very slowly, but then it ends up sounding weird because you've said it like you've just run out of batteries. I definitely find there's been occasions when I'm saying something and I just muck it up so many times I end up having to just say it slowly. But,
I do that constantly, or words flip into my mouth that don't need to go into my mouth. Sometimes it doesn't need to go into my mouth.
It's oh look, there's a black Mini. Sorry, Warren's car is a Mini. I think I did mention that, but I just saw a black one go past on the other side. It's
a Bentley instead. There's the Bentley garage there.
Yes.
We can have a flying lady. Oh no, that's Rolls Royce, isn't it?
Big Yellow Storage. There used to be another Big Yellow Storage type place on the
horizon,
on the right, and it's not there anymore because it burned down.
Won't be storing there then.
Yeah. That's been. I would just say they'll be back soon, but they've been down, not functioning for quite a while, so not that soon.
And here's probably one of Britain's most famous racetracks.
Yeah, that's right.
I always like driving past Brooklands.
Yeah,
wasn't it John Pertwee who used to do racing in Brooklands, or was that one of his many told stories?
Yeah, well, it's quite possible. I mean,
he's about the right age.
Particularly, yeah. And somebody who was relatively famous. So we're heading to West Byfleet for sustenance. This is another word I need to say slowly. Sustenance. But then it just sounds...
We're going to have some lunch.
We're going to have some lunch. That's much better.
We're going to have a barm cake and some lunch. I like that because we said barm cake.
Do they do barm cake at the not the Wetherspoons? We're not going to Wetherspoons.
Introduced me to barm cakes. I never knew what a barm cake was.
Is it like a lager cake?
No, it's a pie. Oh. It's a pie in a roll. So you literally cut a roll in half, put a pie in the middle, and it's a pie cake.
We're going to a Harvester, listeners. Harvester. We're worried about our brand, our sponsorship deals. Do you know which way you're going, man?
Didn't they used to have mechanical Wurzel Gummages and not saucy Nancy, Una Stubbs that used to stand in the entranceway to Harvester, and he used to raise his hat in a very mechanical kind of way.
That's really just an out-of-work actor. You had to stand there all day.
I know one in Salisbury. H&M Meats. Pleased to meet you, meet to greet you.
Yeah.
No, that came out long.
That sounds like something from League of Gentlemen.
No, because Andrew and myself discussed this before. We remember the meat man that used to come round to our the butchery mobile butchery van. It said, "Meat to please you, pleased to meet you."
That sounds
obscene.
The butchery van. The butchery van.
Yeah, we had all sorts of vans.
That sounds like there's some sort of violence involved. like you get pulled off the street and like.
Well, we did lose a number of children in our village. We don't know where they went to.
Okay, so anyway, here comes the butcher, Sweeney Todd,
in his mobile van.
Yeah. Help!
I always remember this being closer than it actually is.
No, it's pretty close.
Well, that's the Queen's Hemorrhoids.
But if I have to go to the, I haven't been there for ages. That place.
Toilet?
No, that
pub. Come all the way out here?
No. Yeah, it's the thing. If I'm taking a taxi to the
into the universe,
to the either the doctors in West Byfleet or the vets or whatever.
You tell me he was coming to lunch.
It's always it's worth having a conversation with the taxi driver because it's quite a quick journey. Whereas if I'm going to Woking, it's a bit more time for natter. But although last time I went when I had my COVID booster, I ended up with a driver that was a COVID denier and didn't want me to have my booster jab, and he tried to show me a YouTube video on the way.
That's very nice of him.
I'm thinking, keep your eyes on the road, otherwise I won't be having just a COVID jab. I'll be having a stay in hospital. But in the end, I just lied.
What did he want to show you on YouTube, or was it
like
just...
some American quack doctor saying that COVID didn't exist?
That's most of them, isn't it? When you say quack doctor, is he dressed up?
He was dressed as a duck. Yes, yeah. That's what gave it away, that he couldn't be trusted.
Yeah.
I thought, it's better me to listen to you dressed up as a duck.
So
anyway.
here we are. Is this Weybridge?
No, this is West Byfleet.
West Byfleet.
We could go to Weybridge sometime. Is
there an East Weybridge? Cool.
Well, my station used to be called West Weybridge Station. When Jacqueline Pearce, because she's from the area.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
She
the Rozzers
remembers it as
West Byfleet.
As West Weybridge Byfleet, New York. The thing that they're building finally looks like it should belong in Woking. That new.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
doesn't really fit.
I should be going straight on, shouldn't I?
Straight on, yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's okay. Because even the car in front doesn't know where they're going. Oh, that's right. It's just past the garage, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Listeners,
because we're putting some free fuel in the car. Oh, look, it's Waitrose.
Waitrose.
Baked beans.
Listeners, we've got to park up. We'll speak to you when we get into the Harvester.
Harvester, good quality. There's a hand driving that car there.
As we go past the Esso garage and the what's that? Medivet the Vets. Yes. That's where Dealey goes.
Is it?
Yeah, that's where he's going next week for his
talons.
Talon trimming.
Talons of Wang. Oh my God.
Oh, it's quite busy. Wow. Okay, not. Yeah, kind of.
Go on, mate.
Hi listeners, we're in the Harvester. We've had our main meal. I'm talking very quickly because I suddenly realised the problem with the restaurants these days is copyrighted music. Most people don't think about this, but we're on to
sing.
We're on to our desserts. Warren's got an
erect cone.
An erect cone and a chocolate and toffee sundae, and I've got a shoe bun covered in ice cream, and
it's even got laces in it to prove it.
Yeah, I've only got one shoe. I need two of these. I've only got one.
Come along, Cinderella.
Yes. Anyway, we'll talk to you again from the car. And apologies that we didn't talk.
We've just been demonetized.
Yeah, damn. I don't even know this song.
Oh, hello.
Hello, listeners. We were in the.
Blimey, she's cold. Look at that.
Well,
legs, shorts in this weather.
Well, yes.
Danglies a drop off. Where's the chap? With dingly danglies.
We were in the. We were in the Harvesters for all of 45 seconds because of copyright restrictions. But we have been talking about TV in that time as well, so and now we're heading back. We didn't talk about TV at the Harvesters. It's all the wonders of editing.
And consumption.
Yes. I think they changed the menu a bit since last time. Not that that's a bad thing. Just there was a lot of rotisserie type things. Nick's Grills.
Round in circles.
I'm not so keen on mini chickens. I'd rather just have
it's a poultry meal then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd rather just have like when you're having a bit of steak, a bit of pork, a bit of that. I'd rather have a chicken breast than be picking around.
Are you a breast or a leg man?
Breast, definitely.
Firm, plump?
Sorry?
Firm and plump?
Firm and plump, yes. And that's just me. I'm not sure I'm that firm, but yes, it was all very nice. I had a chickeny thing. I had a chicken stack thing. There was chicken on chicken. There was crispy chicken.
Chicken on chicken action, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There were feathers and beak everywhere, I tell you.
Yeah, that's like my normal Wednesday night.
I'm coming to your club then.
It's called Cluck Off.
Clucking bell.
Anyway,
we're entering into the Byfleet borders.
Yeah.
Does that mean there's two towns called Fleet?
Well, there's Fleet and Byfleet.
But By means two, so I'm presuming there's two fleets.
Yeah.
Two rivers, of course.
Yeah.
I'll just drive.
We'll see where the dealie is awake when we get back.
The make it sound like he's tyrannical.
Yeah.
The dealie, as a Welshman.
He is tyrannical. He's Tyrannosaurus. So you know what the story is when he asks where we've been. We haven't been anywhere nice. We haven't been eating chicken.
And we haven't been down the pub.
We haven't been down the pub. We just had.
He gets violent when he doesn't have a drink.
Yeah, we just had to go and visit the butchery van. No. I still can't get over the butchery van.
You love the butchery van, don't you?
Yeah, it sounds so evil. I'm afraid I'm going to have to call the butchery van.
Not the butchery van!
Yes.
No, anything but the butchery van! That was a bit cod, wasn't it? It was more fish van than cod van. Okay,
oh, guys, where are we going? Yeti Uncle John, what are you doing asleep in the back of Warren's car?
What are you doing in the glove compartment?
Oh, sorry, I was just... I could smell some wine gums and I went for them, but it wasn't wine gums, it was...
wine.
It was cough
Just
sweets.
wine.
It was wine. Oh dear.
I've got a small cellar in that wine glove compartment. Have you not seen a clockwork wine compartment before in a car? Marvellous it is.
I think this must be a fever dream. I'm going back to sleep. You do that, Yeti Uncle John. I told you we wouldn't get through an episode without Yeti Uncle John showing up.
He always doesn't he? He's always on the make. He's suggestion there.
He's always about.
Oh, look, it's Brooklands again. There's John Pertwee.
It's very mossy. It's very sort of a lovely mossy carpet.
It sucks up too much water, I mean, all moist, and make that slurching noise as you walk on it. Like that ice cream film as it was going down.
So, Warren, we're going to talk about some TV. This time, hopefully, less bothered by disaster than usual. I've picked a year, which is one we've not done, which, that makes sense, really. We don't want to keep doing the old ones.
Many a good tune playing an old fiddle.
Deals. Deals is actually here. I don't know if he's going to speak, but we've been passing him around like a...
Yeah, don't answer that one, Deals.
The year that we're going to do is 1967. I
tell you what, I wasn't born then.
Nor was I. Even Mr. Trowbridge wasn't born then. Even Mr. Goodman
surely he's always been born.
Well, he doesn't admit to it.
Hatched he was.
Well, on January the 3rd, the children's stop-motion animation series Trumpton is the second programme on BBC One to be shot in colour and to show the copyright year in the end credits. It always seems to be something Trumpton related when we do this recently. But
well, Windy Miller was always drunk.
Yeah, because of course Trumpton, I'm sure we've described this before, as they say, it's stop motion animation, and
it's pre Nick Park, isn't it? But it's plasticine, isn't it?
It's part of the Trumptonshire trilogy, which comprises Trumpton, Camberwick Green and Chigley.
Time goes quickly when you're a driver of a train and you're in and out of Trumpton smuggling out cocaine.
It was
half man, half biscuit.
It was narrated by Brian Cant, who
no, he's not.
What? He was known for Play School and being a Dalek story.
And Bacchanalian orgies. That's not actually true. That was just a rumour I've decided.
Well, no, we're not fact checking anymore. So that's because that's what Facebook guy told us. No need to fact check. There's only 13 episodes, but
it always seemed more.
Yeah, well, they kept repeating it round and round into the 80s. But, and they were 15-minute long episodes, and
there was actually a fire in one of them, wasn't there?
Was it a real fire, or was it a stop
motion fire?
Yeah. Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grubb, they were the firemen, I think. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, what does Deals think? Deals, you've never watched an episode of Trumpton in your life. You can't suddenly become an expert. Oh, actually, you can these days. You don't need to know anything to become an expert.
Without actually ever seeing an episode, yeah.
Deals. I need to read off the screen, Deals. You can't just stand there flirting with Warren the whole time.
Oh, you've got really big eyes, Deals.
I think you've got a new friend. Deals. You can look at him afterwards. We're recording at the moment. Yes? You can do a dance. Woo. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle dance.
Don't wiggle me, Daddy.
It's like a little koala bear. Cat koala.
I like the huge whiskers he has.
Yeah, and sometimes he gets...
He's going for mutton chops.
Sometimes he gets his face so close to me, I'm like, Deals, your whiskers are tickling my face. Do you really need to be that close? But, on the 7th of January, the debut of the Forsyth Saga, a blockbuster BBC dramatized... a blockbuster BBC dramatization...
That's easy for you to say.
It's not. A blockbuster BBC dramatisation, the last to be made in black and white, in 26 50-minute episodes, originally shown on BBC Two.
And you know it's a Forsyth Saga because whenever they show a clip, it's the only thing that's actually in quality.
But apparently it eventually transferred to BBC One because not enough people had BBC Two. It got up to 18 million viewers at its most popular.
Couldn't have been much on that evening.
26 50-minute episodes. Was that broken into seasons or?
No, it's one season. It's
that's almost sort of American style.
That's a punishing schedule for anybody. I mean, you had Eric Porter appearing. Well, you had big names. Eric Porter. You had
Susan Hampshire,
Kenneth Moore,
Susan Hampshire, Nari Dawn Porter.
All sorts of faces in that.
Mm.
But that must have been because I think Eric in most of it, and that must have been really punishing.
It was.
It was a bit upstairs, downstairs-ish, but without the downstairs bit.
It is based on books by John Galsworthy. Books from, first one's from 1906, but Cyril Luckham, he was in it.
Was he dressed? Was he in a large wicker chair?
Yeah, I think so.
Wearing a fedora.
Martin Jarvis.
Never mind. Did he have wings?
Probably. Lots of people, and some of them. Michael York was in it as well. And then on the 9th of January, the long-running children's educational programme Look and Read debuts on BBC One. Look and Read ran up until 2004.
I was going to say, it sounds very familiar to me as a small child from the 70s.
Did they have some puppet characters in it? Or am I confusing it?
Are you thinking of Words and
Words
Pictures?
And Pictures. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened.
With the crow and whatever that other creature was that was there. Like a bear, but it was behind. It was a bear behind. It always made an arse of itself. All right, these are the jokes. They're as good as they get.
On the 3rd of February, David Frost confronted fraudster Emil Samvundruss on the Frost programme.
On the Frost, yeah. That was very famous. That was a very heated...
There's nothing to click for the Frost programme. Is the Frost programme before or after the Frost Report?
It's after the Frost Report.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was consumer.
Yeah.
They used to talk about a lot of politics, consumer stuff on there. And, this particular guy had tens of thousands of pounds he'd basically got out of people for quack stuff.
On the 28th of February, something to do with the ITA requesting applicants for new ITV contracts.
This is the beginning of Thames Television and all those new franchises.
I'm glad you...
So ABC and Associated Rediffusion London would then become Thames Television, a talent for television.
I'm glad you can make sense of it. As for March, nothing happened in March.
Did they cancel March?
They cancelled. Did
they do that as well?
They cancelled my speaking.
Well, there you go.
You'd think we'd had boozy coffees or something deals. We really haven't.
We've just had the booze. We left the coffee behind.
No, we didn't. In April, on the 4th of April, BBC One show a Tom and Jerry cartoon for the first time. That's kind of
random, isn't
it? Yeah. Commencing with the 1942 short Dog Trouble,
in which Jerry goes up against a Nazi hound from 1942 and comes off worse.
Is that true? The hugely popular characters are shown twice weekly on Tuesdays and Thursdays and go on to be screened continually on the BBC throughout many decades. I'm kind of surprised they weren't being shown before 1967. But
especially if they're made in the 40s.
Yeah.
Thomas!
I mean, sometimes when we've talked about films being shown at Christmas, they're like 18 years after they've been shown, but that's a bit ridiculous. The Eurovision Song Contest in 1967 was
Cliff Richards, wasn't it?
Sorry,
Sandy. What's his name? Or Cliff Richards?
It was Sandy. On the 8th of April,
Puppet on a String.
The winnings. It was the 12th Eurovision Song Contest. It took place in Vienna, Austria. We've been to Vienna on the Charlotte podcast, actually.
Have you?
I've been there on 2 occasions. Well, technically 3 occasions, because I went there, left, and then came back again.
Did you leave something behind?
I left for a day. No, I left for a day. It was on a road trip I did with Kirk, and we had one night there. Then we went on somewhere else. Then we came back for a longer period. The winning song is Puppet on the winning. The winning song is
Giblet. Giblet. The winning song was Giblet.
The winning song is Puppet on a String, performed barefoot by Sandy Shaw. It was broadcast live on BBC One, and it doesn't
Who's thieving so-and-so has stolen her shoes?
Puppet on a String was the UK's entry, so it's one of the times that the UK actually won. I wonder if someday that you say that your care deals, if you say you love me madly, I promise. Anyway,
Jules is totally ignoring
Jules
you.
is ignoring it. In May, nothing happened. But in June, loads happened. You think they could have just balanced it out and just pretended, just lied? No one's going to check.
They were doing a 3-month year, weren't they?
Yeah. On the 12th of June, the 1967 franchise round sees a number of changes being made to ITV, to the ITV regional map, which will take effect from May to August 1968. Oh, this is all to do with. Oh gosh, this is all a bit boring. Yorkshire Television is created.
Did you know that Yorkshire Television was the first ITV region to be filming in colour and broadcasting in colour? It was the first ITV studio to have purpose-built colour facilities. There you go.
London Weekend Television.
They produced such quality comedies as On the Buses.
Oh dear.
I can't remember an episode which made me laugh, but then again, I've never been complimentary about that series.
The David Frost was responsible for that as well.
Well, On the Buses?
No,
give me a rifle.
London Weekend Television.
Yes.
Originally, it was known as the London Television Consortium. Wins the London Weekend contract. Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it? That one channel takes over at weekends.
Do you always remember that? At 6 o'clock, there'd be the switch over on Friday evening from Thames to London Weekend Television.
I don't think I understood it. I don't think I understood it now.
They had the 6 o'clock programme hosted by Michael Aspel. About this time as well, Michael Aspel would have become famous because he would have been BBC Two's newsreader.
He was... He'd already done Crackerjack by this point, hadn't he?
No, didn't he do it? Yes, he would. That was Eamon Andrews up until... Oh, now I'm going to have a look now, aren't I?
Michael Aspel definitely was involved in Crackerjack at some point. Maybe it was late 60s.
Oh, now you've done it. You keep talking.
On the 25th of June, the Our World programme aired to over 30 countries. That's when you see the Beatles performing All You Need Is Love, in a live
it's
setting.
A lie.
In a live setting, that's
chloroform is all you need.
That's from the Our World programme from the 25th of June 1967. Have you found out any more about Crackerjack?
I'm looking. Don't try, because you ain't got a script.
Yeah.
Michael Aspel was from 1968 to 74. So, yeah, he'd have been doing the BBC News then. Let's have a look at Michael Aspel. OBE. Well, in 1969, Michael Aspel hosted the Song for Europe in the Eurovision contest.
Well, on the 1st of July, BBC Two becomes Europe's first colour TV broadcaster. The colour service is launched with live coverage from the Wimbledon Championships. You think they would have found something a bit more exciting, but there we go. I guess it's exciting if you like tennis, but we seem to be stalked by this programme. Also on the 1st of July, the debut of the game show The Golden Shot on ITV.
Bit left, bit right, bit up, bit down.
Is initially presented by Canadian entertainer Jackie Ray. He would soon be replaced by the show's best-known host Bob Monkhouse, which we discussed last time when we talked about 1974.
We love Bob Monkhouse because he's so cheesy. He's more cheesy than a Dorito.
More cheesy than a DLC.
DLC, Bob.
2nd of July, the BBC's Colour Test Card F, featuring Carol Hersey.
Oh, and the clown
is broadcast for the first time.
The evil, sadistic, satanistic clown,
which
I always used to think as a child, which would come alive and eat my soul.
And it did.
And it did eat our souls.
Yeah, it did. 3rd of July, News at 10 premieres on ITV. It airs for half an hour nightly on weeknights until 1999, before being axed. It is then reintroduced in 2001, axed again in 2004, and brought back for a second time in 2008. Just kind of confirms that people involved with TV don't know what they're doing. Like axing...
Said the would-be TV executive here.
Like axing Top of the Pops, and yet still not properly axing it, because they always have one episode a year. But, I'm sure in their scintillating TV schedules there would still be room for Top of the Pops. But,
no.
On the 8th and 9th of July, the BBC broadcast The Great Climb, covering ascents of the Old Man of Hoy. Or is that Hay? Hoy.
Hoy. It's Hoy.
Orkney.
It's up in Skye.
In real time.
It's around the corner from where Fiona lives.
It attracts around 15 million viewers. Not Fiona. I'm sure she attracts more than that. In August, nothing happens.
Filthy.
Nothing happens in August.
There's not much happening in that year, is there? You picked a year where they've had the year off, haven't you?
We've got other things. We've been talking about cookery today. On the 29th of September, The Prisoner has its UK premiere on ATV and Grampian Television. The world premiere of the series occurs on the 5th of September.
And the lead actor, Patrick McGowan, would later go on to appear on nearly every episode of Columbo.
Yeah. And I think he even wrote or directed some of the later.
Crikey, you'd have thought he'd have known better.
Also, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons debuts on ITV. That's
it's sort of when Jerry Anderson became very adultish and dark, wasn't it? I always thought it was very dark because people got killed and blown up and things. People were walking bombs. It was quite nasty for a kids' programme.
Captain Scarlet was pretty hot as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, particularly.
I knew the person who got him that job because it could pull strings for him.
It's those drawings. It's the drawings at the end that do it for me.
It's the reaching out of the lake.
Yeah,
and the big snake looking at him.
That's the big snake that does it for me.
I was going to say it's the big snake that rears up and is erect.
Yeah. On October...
Is it the trousers?
What?
Well, they're not very amply cut, are they?
Well, he's only a puppet.
He's got wood, though.
Listeners, Captain Scarlet's not well, he's real in my heart, but he's actually a puppet. But there we go.
You got a problem if he's in your heart, mate. I got valves in mine.
On the 13th of October, Omnibus, an arts documentary series, begins on BBC One.
That's still going now, isn't it?
I was going to say it's still going.
Or you can go and stand out by the bus stop out there.
Well,
one should arrive.
It says it stopped in 2003, but I swear they still do.
No. Oh, what was the Omnibus? Yeah, but did they do a load of... No, what am I thinking of? Time Shift took over from Omnibus. They just changed the name, but it's the same.
Do you still have Panorama? Is that still going?
Yes, yes. Everyone still comments about the spaghetti trees.
Now, talking about like ITV taking a while to show a film. On the 16th of October, ITV Granada shows the silent 1922 German expressionist horror film Nosferatu. That's really hot off the press there.
Wow, and I'm thinking, when now do they show a silent movie? They just don't, do they? Unless they show the film silent movie.
Yeah, they used to show things.
La La Land, isn't it? Is that the one? They all go la la.
I'm not sure. They used to show Harold Lloyd and things like that.
Yeah, they really sort of packaged those, didn't they? Time Life Television bought the rights to the Harold Lloyd films, and they gave it a commentary because originally it was just feature-length, silent movies. But do you remember watching Harold Lloyd?
I used to like Harold Lloyd.
I like Harold. A pair of glasses and a smile.
Oh, yeah.
He hangs off that giant clock.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, like he's never done that before.
Yeah.
Which is interesting how they faked a lot of his stunt work as well.
Yeah, the giant clock.
Yes.
Anyway, 23rd of October, service...
Nothing happened but a giant clock.
Clock. Did you say clock? I thought I could...
Yes.
Service... 23rd of October, service information is broadcast by the BBC for the first time. The bulletins are broadcast 3 times each weekday on BBC Two. That doesn't sound very exciting, but there we go. In November, the live BBC One broadcast of the 1967 Miss World competition is watched by over 23 million viewers.
They're keeping abreast of things.
They are, yes.
And here they are, talking about what instrument they'd like to play in their swimsuit.
Yes, probably...
How many people wanted world peace?
World peace.
Well, did they get it?
Alas not. I don't know that it's still on TV, but there is still a Miss World.
There's the famous Miss World from the 1970s where Bob Hope ran off the stage when the feminists flower bombed it. And he was famously pushed back on stage by the producer saying, "Get on there, you bleeding coward."
There was a Miss World as recently as last March, so we're due another one soon. I don't think it's as quite high profile as it used to be. In December, on the 2nd of December, colour television is officially launched on BBC Two, which coincides with a new ident known as Cube 2.
Well, that's the number 2 that does that. You can't see that, but I'm doing that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness. He is doing that, and I promise not to call the police. On the 22nd of December... Again. 22nd of December, Dante's Inferno, Ken Russell's television film about Dante Gabriel Rossetti, is shown in the Omnibus series.
Very famous.
On the 25th of December, that's Christmas Day, the final...
Did they have a Christmas Day that year? It wasn't cancelled.
The final edition of The City Show is shown on the BBC after being cancelled by Paul Fox, the controller of BBC One.
Did he have a hand in its motion?
Yeah, part of the reason for the cancellation is due to his decision to clear out long-running programmes on the show.
Clear out the crap!
Make way for new shows.
Clear out the crap. What are we going to bring in? We're going to bring Dante's Inferno in.
The City Show will return next year on ITV, being produced by Thames Television.
Thames.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing he didn't want to get rid of Doctor Who then. Who's this Paul Fox?
Have you never heard of Paul Fox? Yes, control piece. Yeah.
He's dead now, so I can't make a complaint.
He's actually quite famous, Paul Fox, within the BBC.
He's not been dead long though.
Oh well, perhaps we can dig him up and ask him.
He died in April 2024.
We'll dig him up, plug him in, and ask him. My friend Paul over here wants to know, why do you cancel Sooty? I think his hand's fallen off, Paul.
I do hate it when
Paul Fox dies.
When people
can't answer for their actions.
Well, they have a personal dislike for something. It's like
Sooty was going since the end of the 1940s.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, there's only so much you can do with your hand up the back end of a puppet with a water pistol, isn't there? Not the water pistol up the back end of the puppet, obviously. Harry
Corbett was
yes,
he was still the Sooty's friend at this point, and carried over to the new version as well.
Yeah, well, he passed away and his son took over, and then he sold the rights to it.
Sooty's a puppet, listeners who don't know. He's a yellow bear
with no legs.
With no legs.
And he's got odd. He hangs out with a dog that squeaks and a cross-dressing panda.
Yeah, it's all true.
I always thought it was because pandas. You didn't have. I was thinking Ming Ming and Chi Chi. I suppose you do have female pandas.
I think so.
But they don't usually mate, so that's probably because they had problem if they're in captivity in zoos. They didn't mate, so they thought, Sue, make her a panda, then nobody would think it's suspicious. Her hanging out with two lads.
I don't know.
It's just the way my mind works.
Sooty doesn't wear clothes, does he? Well,
no, he doesn't. No, he wears hats.
Yeah. He thinks that.
Yeah, so why does Sue wear clothes? Because she wears clothes to define that she's female. But yet Paddington wears a hat and a coat, but takes his coat off, and he's naked underneath.
Yeah.
Where's the propriety in that? It's disgusting.
Yogi Bear only wears a bow tie, doesn't he?
And that doesn't even revolve. Bow tie and a Harold Lloyd hat.
Yeah.
Boater.
Yeah. On the 26th of December 1967, the Beatles...
Why does he wear a bow tie for? No, honestly, why does that bloody bear? And how the hell can he tie it?
I think he's a stripper. I don't know.
Seriously? He's the amazing Yogi and his bow tie.
On the 26th of December...
No, I'm sorry, I'm bugged by that.
Sorry.
You can't move on. You cannot move on. How does a bear, without a mirror, tie a bow tie? Moving on from clothing and bears.
Bears are just...
Never let it be said, folks, that we do not probe the parts that other people don't expect to be probed.
I don't...
And probing is what's needed.
Can I read my last entry now, please?
That told me, didn't it?
On the 26th of December, the Beatles' made-for-television musical film, Magical Mystery Tour, airs on the BBC in the UK in black and white, although it was made in colour. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest, but there we go. Actually, there's one more. On the same day, the comedy sketch show Do Not Adjust Your Set,
we finished on a high at last.
Children, premieres on ITV. Yep. Do Not Adjust Your Set was...
Michael Palin?
Yeah, it has some of the Pythons, has Eric Idle, Terry Jones and Michael Palin, and David Jason, who wasn't in the Pythons, although also John Cleese and Graham Chapman both appeared as well. So,
who was it who nearly became a Python but couldn't write? Not meaning he couldn't write. He wasn't. He wasn't able to write. It was who's the chap from the Goodies? God, I'm so old. My brain is frazzled and gone out of my ear. I can see him. I'm a teapot.
Tim
Brooke Taylor.
Yeah.
He was going to become one of them, but he couldn't write, which explains a lot.
Never been a goodie if he had been a Python.
No. So does that mean one of the Pythons would have become a goodie?
Maybe.
Which one?
That's an interesting question. If one of... I think Michael Palin would have been good.
I think he would have been... he'd have been the upstanding, I'm wearing a Union Jack waistcoat type. Yes.
He's pretty adaptable, Michael Palin. He can play lots of different characters.
Personal experience? Because he's been around the world a few times.
no, not
he's got about a bit.
I always find...
love you, Michael.
I think he's probably my favourite Python.
He's my favourite Python. He's sort of very grounded, isn't he? And very humble and not full of himself.
Yeah. There were 2 seasons of Do Not Adjust Your Set.
Is that the series where they... Oh, no, that was the Complete and Utter History of Britain, where they said, you're not going to make any of those again, are you?
There was a spin-off called Captain Fantastic, which later appeared in Magpie, the magazine show. There were 29 episodes, but only 14 currently exist.
Magpie, the ITV version of Blue Peter. You were either a Magpie or a Blue Peter fan, weren't you?
A bit like Swap Shop and
Yeti'S was.
And Yeti'S was. Yeah.
And Saturday Superstore or the Test Card. I always watch the Test Card.
although it wasn't a new series, 1967 was sort of the time of the colour season of the Avengers, although that may have started 66 to 67, but I tend to think of, that because that season of the Avengers was also spoofing things like Batman, which were spoofs in the first place. But,
the Winged Avenger.
Yeah.
We're coming now to the end of the 60s, so we're coming to the end of the swinging 60s, and we're about to enter flower power, aren't we? Sort of 68, 69.
Sort of flower power, yeah.
Yeah.
And then 1968 and 1969 was when it all came crashing down.
And yes.
Ironside started in 1967. I don't quite know when we got it, but
I always imagine his wheelchair had a clip-on little revolving red light, a bit like Kojak's car. But if he was in pursuit of somebody, he'd put that on the top of his little pole would go up, and he'd put that on the top of it, and all the traffic would get out of the way for him. But he'd be a bit snookered really if he was in San Francisco and he'd have to go up a hill. I suppose he could hold on to one of the tram cars, couldn't he?
Yeah, and
it's the way my mind works. I'm sorry.
Another of my favourites in 1967 was The Invaders.
Oh yes, that's a lovely series, isn't it? Roy Finnis.
Again, I don't know when we got it.
The man who said he didn't believe in UFOs after he made the series.
It was really it was like a continuation of The Fugitive, but just with aliens. But,
he never finished either, did the series? It was left very open at the end.
No.
Open-ended.
Because it sort of ran for a season, a bit more than a season and a half. The first season isn't a full season, but it's not. It's
the first season's very heavyweight, and the second season it's got a bit doing this again type attitude, isn't it?
Well, they start to change the format a bit by having other people. The people that he meets at the end of each episode sort of become
believers.
Yeah, because generally there aren't that many sort of continuing.
Because in 2 or 3 years' time, well, probably 5 years' time, we have a television program called UFO, Project UFO. I'm talking not UFO as the Jerry Anderson, which was the Operation Blue Book files. Gosh, I shouldn't have had that third whiskey.
Yeah,
6 pints.
First season was 17 episodes, so I don't know whether something got axed very quickly, but or quite.
The first season, the first episode, like a lot of those books, is really crackingly good. I mean, I've got the box set at home, and I really love the first episode.
Yeah,
it's simplistic in its nature, but it's really good.
I started watching season 2 again a year or so ago because that was the season I knew least well.
Hello,
Deals. Do you like?
Hi, Deals.
Are you a Quinn Martin production, Deals?
No, she's an MTM. She's the cat off the Mary Tyler Moore TV station. You know, the one that used to go at the end.
Well, I think I'd have off. Oh, Mr. Rose. Is that the detective?
That's the detective chap.
Ask the Family.
Oh, where ugly members of the family appear on television to show how intelligent they are. And they are all quantity surveyors.
Not in front of the children. That was a...
Oh, that was the late night porn on BBC Two, wasn't it? Oh, sorry.
That was Wendy
Craig doing late night porn on BBC Two with Joan Bakewell. That got some really good viewing figures. Thinking Man's Crumpet.
It's like
more like Muffin.
Yeah, it's Wendy Craig played a scutty housewife, and it says here a role that she continued to play in other series over the next 15 years.
Oh always remember her in Nanny. Do you remember her in Nanny? I used to watch that on the Saturday.
I think I did, and I sort of toyed with getting the DVD, but I thought, well, I actually watched it once I got it.
I think it's a case of once you've seen 2 or 3 episodes, you've seen the whole season.
Yeah. There were 4 seasons, but there's only one episode from season 1. There's quite a few from season 2. Nothing from season 3, only 2 from season 4, I suppose. Oh, the man in it was Francis Matthews. What else was there? Batfink. I remember Batfink being a sort of... It was a send-up of Batman and the Green Hornet type programmes. But Batman was a send-up of most things in the first place.
Yeah, Batman was... Well, it was the Batman sort of 60s version was sort of a send-up of all those Saturday morning serialisations you go to the cinema to see, like Flash Gordon and Rocket Men and Radio Invaders from Mars, that kind of thing, or The Mask or something like that. But the way that the 60s production was put together, very, very camp and very, very sort of memorable and colourful.
At last, the 1948 show, that was Tim. It says that Tim Taylor wrote the last 48 show, so yeah, his excuse for not being a Python. Yeah.
But see, the 1948 show originally gave us the Yorkshireman sketch. The famous Yorkshireman sketch that everyone thinks the Pythons did.
It's got Graham Chapman, John Cleese and Marty Feldman. And
the only man who could see round both corners.
And Amy...
oh no, not Amy.
Amy MacDonald.
No, not Amy MacDonald. Amy MacDonald, who played the same character of Amy MacDonald all the way through her entire career.
And again, Eric Idle made a bit part. Eric Idle played a bit. Eric Idle
had a bit.
Eric Idle played a bit, and
what, dressed up as Carol Cleveland.
Bill Oddie appears in some small roles.
Ham, cheese, sandwich spread. Do they still do sandwich spread?
I presume so.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
White stuff. It looked very odd, didn't it?
Yeah.
White stuff with lots of snot in it.
Chunky bits.
Chunky bits that look dubious.
Sexton Blake.
Yes, that was... Oh, that was played by chap from Gunfighters. Lawrence Payne. Only one episode exists, and that's episode 1. And if you ever see it, it is really good. And it's one of those, you know, when you watch a programme, you go, let's see what's left here. No, nothing's left. I'd really like to see how that panned out. It's a really good first episode.
Skippy the Bush Kangaroo.
Used to nail his feet to the floor. Lisa Goddard. Although she was in the latter series.
She didn't have her feet nailed to the floor.
No. But yeah, they used to strap poor old Skippy's feet to the floor.
Mission Impossible started in 66, but perhaps it was, I don't know, it first made its debut over here in 67. I could go on, but I won't. Deals, I won't. I promise. Good boy. Good boy.
Hi, Deals. Hi.
Hello, it's Paul the Shy Yeti here.
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Yes. Can't keep us away.
Right, we've got to get it right this time.
It's Toby and Lisa, listeners.
Hello, listeners.
Hello, listeners.
We're ringing up to wish Paul and happy birthday.
Yes,
and happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
For podcastering, for the Shy Life.
Oh, gosh, guys, you're still a bit early, but I don't like to complain, but I won't, so I won't. You are a week or so early, but it's fine. It's fine. It's always good to hear from you. We're not doing it. I mean, it is just the 9th anniversary. It's not like we're having a big party this year. I was kind of saving up all our pennies for the 10th anniversary.
Oh, right, okay.
Whilst you're here, have you got any more facts?
Planet facts. Well, we've done Mars. Why don't we move out again further from the sun?
Okay.
Let's go to Jupiter now, shall we?
One of my favourites.
Do you like Jupiter?
I do. It has a certain...
Je ne sais quoi.
It's certain something, yeah.
Well, it's the 5th planet from the sun. If you took all the other planets in the solar system and put them in a big lump, and then you put Jupiter on the other side, on like a huge pair of scales.
Oh, yes.
Then Jupiter would still weigh 2.5 times more than all the other planets put together in the solar system.
It's a big boy.
So Jupiter is a big bugger, shall we say? It's got a red spot on it. It's not acne. It is a storm, and it's a storm that's been, going for many, many years now.
Will the storm ever stop?
Well, we don't know. I mean, it changes. It sometimes almost disappears, but then it seems to come back again. So it's, I guess if you sort of lived on Jupiter and got weather forecasts, I guess they'd be fairly boring because they just say, and the storm is like in its 120th year, so don't go outside.
But what about the rest of the planet? It's not is it stormy everywhere? But then that's the epicenter, or what?
Well, the thing is, Jupiter is a gas giant, so Jupiter doesn't really have a surface, so you can't really go walking on Jupiter, because it's just made up of hydrogen and helium, really.
But how come it weighs so much if it doesn't have a thing?
Because it's bloody big. It is absolutely huge. If you've got a load of little Earths, not little Earths, if you've got a load of Earths, you could basically fit 11 of them in a row across the radius of Jupiter. And of course, because it's three-dimensional, its actual volume is 1,321 times that of the Earth.
What if Jupiter is like I don't know, it's conning us all. What if I took my Henry Hoover up to Jupiter and I sucked away all the gases, and would I find that I was just left with like a little tiny gobstopper-sized planet?
Well, the theory is its structure is metallic hydrogen with a core of dense material. So, there is some other stuff apart from hydrogen and helium. I'd have to look up, how big they think the actual sort of core is. But yeah, there is other stuff lurking, but you've got to get through a hell of a lot of atmosphere.
Again, seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, again, Carl Sagan imagined that if there was life on Jupiter, it would be big sort of floating things made out of gas, like sort of balloons. So his theory was that, you could have things that were called floaters that lived in the atmosphere, and they were sort of big things. I remember I saw a picture of them once. I mean, these are just made up, these things, but if life existed, they'd just be huge sort of floating things. But it's not bad for moons. If you want to go moon spotting, if you look in a telescope, you can usually see 4 moons. But the latest, figures for it, it's got about 95 moons now, they reckon.
That's a lot. That's a big difference. How come? How come it's changed?
Well, it hasn't changed. It's always had them. It's just that we haven't been able to observe them because Galileo spotted the first 4 moons in the early 17th century, and I can see them with my little 4-incher because I've occasionally got excited seeing the moons of Jupiter. But because we sent probes there and things like that now, so when they sent the probes in the late 70s, they discovered more moons, and we just keep finding them basically. But
are they a bit more solid than the big one?
Well, your four Galilean ones, they're fairly they're fairly interesting because you've got Io. There it is. Io looks very yellow. Actually, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Io's surface is sort of plains of water ice. So no, it's not water ice. Most moons in the outer solar system are composed of water ice. Io is silicate rock, so that's actually a rocky moon.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's got plains of sulfur.
Nice.
So that's why it's yellow. You see.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably smells a bit as well.
Yeah. You've got Europa, which is possibly got an outer layer of water about 100 kilometres thick, and might have a liquid ocean underneath the ice. So you might be able to do some swimming there, although it would be cold.
Yes.
So that's Europa. You've got Ganymede.
Oh, I heard that one.
And that looks actually very like our own moon. You see that, Lisa?
Yeah.
It's sort of rock and water. So that might be an interesting.
Didn't they get mentioned in Red Dwarf a lot, Ganymede?
Yeah.
Well, all these probably got mentioned in Red Dwarf, didn't they? But,
and then you've got Callisto as well, and that Callisto is covered in craters. So
is that lots of meteor strikes?
Yeah, probably. Its surface is completely covered with impact craters. So
it's not a good place to live.
Yeah,
then.
if you live on Callisto, you've probably got to duck a lot.
Or live underground.
Yeah,
or live under the surface.
I'm going to put you on the spot now. If I was looking to get an Airbnb on one of those moons, which one would you recommend?
Ooh, well, I think Io actually looks.
That looks the most.
Io looks pretty.
Yeah, or Ganymede.
Yeah, I'd go for Io because
it'd be a bit stinky though.
Well, Io's got 400 active volcanoes as well.
Okay.
So
it's a bit dangerous.
So that's actually but people might like to visit volcanoes.
Wouldn't Ganymede be safer though?
There's a lot of volcano tourism in Iceland, isn't there?
But Ganymede looked relatively normal compared to the others.
Relatively normal.
Yeah.
I'll check and see if Uber Eats goes that far, because don't know how good the restaurants are on these moons.
Well, Ganymede is larger than the planet Mercury, so yeah. But yeah, one of those. I think I'd go for the rocky ones. Yeah. Yeah, but there you go. There's Jupiter.
Yeah. Well, I better get back to the episode that I was in the middle of. And
okay,
thanks again.
We'll try and get it right next time.
You're getting closer. And anyway, hopefully we'll chat again soon. So thanks again for calling in, both of you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Right, there we go. So there's this great debate. We've already discussed baked beans, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
I don't know how much distance this has got. Probably.
It should be all right.
Okay. Well, no, we've discussed about levels of sauce because we quite like a bit of sauce, don't we?
Saucy. Well, I'm quite saucy for sure.
Well, I've heard that. HP? No, I bought it outright.
Yeah.
Hey. Never mind.
I was saying I like quite a lot of sauce on my baked beans. Well, with my baked beans, because we were saying how some of the cheaper brands of baked beans are like it's ridiculous. Like we might get targeted by Heinz, but a tin of baked beans.
we might get promotions from Heinz.
Well, only if you say good things. And there's nothing wrong with Heinz.
I like spaghetti shape.
I like ravioli, even though it's nothing like real left.
No.
Well, only because it's like
Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends shapes are nice.
I used to like noodle doodles, but I don't think they even do those.
Noodle doodles.
I mean, yeah, it's just I feel like a tin of baked beans at 1.65 is ridiculous when the tin from Co-op is 45p. And back in the day, a tin of baked beans was like 5p, but I mean that was Heinz beans would have been cheaper then as well. But
beans, the musical.
But they all
fruit.
taste the same. There was that rumour that they're all the same sort, all come from the same place anyway.
But they're not. They're not though, really. The beans may be, but the sauces.
I can't taste the difference between the £1.65 Heinz baked beans and the 45p Co-op.
Between the Stork SB and a rancid fox, which one tastes different?
I can't taste the difference in. I'd rather buy 3 or 4 tins of the cheaper beans than because I need a whole tin when I have I open a tin, and it needs to be a big tin. I can't have a small tin.
Now, then we moved on to porridge, didn't we?
Oh, we went on to pot noodles and porridge.
No, the thing is, I can't do a pot noodle because there's something odd about pot noodle I've never really got on with.
I'm not a big fan, but sometimes they come into my house. But
and they knock on the door and just walk in.
You were saying if you did have one, you'd have less water than recommended, and I said I'd have more water than recommended.
I like to make the noodles still crunchy because it's all dehydrated food, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but I like.
And the sauce sachet. Do you put the sauce sachet in, or do you leave it out?
I just chuck it in, but I don't think it has much effect. I only really have the chicken and mushroom, unless again I'm gifted other flavours. My mum sometimes provides me with a pot noodle when I'm going home from Salisbury.
She doesn't like you then.
She thinks it's going to provide sustenance once I get home. But
you'll make it as far as the first door of the train.
Yeah, I'll probably find a use for it. And there's a hole blown in the side of the train now. I'll just pad it with a bit of
pot noodle. There we go. The pressure is equalising inside.
We're not going to get sponsorship in this rate from pot noodle.
But porridge. You see, I put a lesser. You had a go at me for this because I put a lesser amount of water than it is on the line on those little instant tubs of porridge because you can have porridge in certain ways. You could have ones that you could, you could use for cladding on your walls. That's how I like my porridge.
Yeah.
Do you like it a bit?
I like it wetter. Well, it's just
more moist and runny.
Yeah, well, it's just that not naming any names, but a certain person used to make me porridge for breakfast, but they also used to make it in an enormous quantity. So by the time I got towards it was quite nice the first few spoonfuls, but by the time I started to slow down, and by the time I got to the end, it was like cold wallpaper paste.
Industrial batch of. Yeah. So do you do it the traditional way and have salt on it? The Scottish way, which I've never understood. Why the heck you would poison yourself by putting salt on your porridge?
No, I'd always want
maple syrup.
Maple syrup's good.
Honey, honey's better.
Honey's even better.
Yeah. Fruit.
I'm not against fruit, but I think you still need a bit of honey as well.
Against fruit? What, are you going to rise up and take down the fruit?
It's just fruit is very.
No more kumquats.
It's very isolated. You've got a tiny bit of fruit, but that doesn't help with the rest of it tasting like wallpaper paste. So, unless you have a bit of fruit with every spoonful.
But then you end up with a ski yoghurt if you type thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Which I never liked the ski yogurts because you'd have a lump of this horrible manky fruit in it, which is so processed that you didn't taste of anything. I
mean, some of the yogurts that naming no brands because we've already got lawsuits from Hot Doodle and Heinz, and we haven't. Luckily, we didn't mention any brand of porridge, but
Scott's Oats.
Oh no!
There'll be that man in his kilt throwing the ball at us now. That's on the front cover. Shot in his put.
Yeah. Some of the yogurts, some of the same brands of yogurts have. Some of them have nice bits of fruit in, and some of them don't have any. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can buy like one brand and they have bits of fruit in and other. I mean, it might be since Brexit that bits of cherry are too expensive.
Oh, I see. Since we've left the EU now, we've had a reduction in another one of these things that we're finding that slipped under there. A reduction of aesthetic fruit within within an artificial yogurt environment.
I'm pretty sure there are a few, I think that
it wasn't like this when we had the foreigners bringing it over. It was good quality yogurt.
I think cherries may be an issue.
They are when you wear them on the end of the nose because they're not big enough to make them look like a red nose.
People have to send people through wearing them as earrings and things. It's the only way they can get them in the country. Wearing cherries on their fingers.
I like your Bobby Dazzlers. Very nice. They look like cherries. No, they're Bobby Dazzlers.
But it's just I'm disappointed when I don't find.
Is that a cherry in your trousers, or are you just pleased to see me? Is it glassy?
How would you notice how would you see a cherry in? Anyway, let's not get into.
As long as you take the little stick out of it, if you're going to smuggle it, because it looks a bit odd if you smuggle it in with a little wooden stick sticking out. Talking little sticks and fruit, pineapple on a stick, making a comeback, I hear.
Why?
Because it's about time it did. I think we should have it.
Right.
Oh, hello, he's on the gin already.
No,
what you got, gin and orange? Have you put water in that, or are you just drinking the concentrate?
No, that is water in that. I realise it does look like I'm drinking straight from the bottle.
For those of you who can't see, and are watching in black and white, there's a bottle of orange squash. I genuinely thought, when Paul picked it up, it was just a concentrate, and he took the lid off and gulped a sip.
I know one or two people who might do that, but not me.
I was expecting him then to pour a drug of water down him, and then just say to me, I'm cutting out the middleman, jump up and down a couple of times.
I'll just stick my head out see if it's raining. I only ever have a shower when it rains, but no, that's not true.
Is that what the yard brush is doing out by the door then, is it?
They just hose me down like an elephant on Blue Peter.
You don't go and defecate out there, do you? Like the elephant in Blue Peter.
I can't possibly comment.
I wonder why there were tufts of grass thicker than anywhere else on the
what are we talking about? I was going to say something. Oh, pineapple on pizzas, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, I don't have a problem. I mean, I don't often order.
It's quirky. I like it.
Yeah, well, ham it's the salt of the ham, and it's not like you're having a pineapple pizza. You're having a pineapple and ham pizza.
Yeah.
And the flavours go well. I don't often order a ham and pineapple pizza just because I kind of tend to like something a bit more meaty or a bit more spicy, or saucy. No, and maybe ham and pineapple is a little bit bland. But if it was there, and there were times where I definitely think, oh, maybe I would like it. So I'm definitely not against it. And the only reason I would not choose it was because I wanted something a bit hotter, maybe. Or I'm very easily swayed.
Man, then?
Sorry.
Are you a spicy man?
I am, as far as I love curries.
You like something to tickle your
yeah,
and your taste buds.
I'm big into my curries and all that sort of thing. But
what, like swimming in them?
Swimming in the curry. I haven't been swimming in a curry recently. No. But some of these pizza places have like
pizzas.
Like one-off special type flavours. And one of the chains I use did like lasagna flavour pizza, or spaghetti carbonara flavour pizza, and I'm like, oh, I've got to try that.
And there's a bizarre one that I saw that did a chocolate biscuit pizza.
Was that like meant to be as a dessert?
And you buy it out of curiosity, and then you take one bite of it and go, why did I order this? Here's a good question. He says, animating his fingers regarding pizzas. Do you agree that garlic bread should look like a long stick, or should look like a pizza? Because a lot of these pizza companies now do garlic pizzas and try and flog you at an extortionately high price. Or should it be a long stick?
I tend to prefer the long stick because it sort of keeps the
eyes watering,
the butter sort of in it a bit better as well. Although some of the pizza places I use you get like a deal and you get a side order and you might get cheesy garlic bread in a and that's relatively but that's cheesy garlic bread. So. I don't find the ones that you can buy in the pizza place particularly garlicky. I like the sticks that you can buy in the supermarket. Love it because they're all very garlicky. Yeah, and you can
smell it cooking.
I'm in love with my air fryer and
do you cook yours in the air fryer?
I've started using an air fryer recently. Yeah.
No, but do you cook your garlic?
Oh yeah, yes I do. Yes I do. Yeah.
Do you?
I use my air fryer for everything.
So what did you
for washing. Stick my washing in there. It comes
I
out.
thought you said it yourself.
This is dry.
I wondered, yeah.
I mean, it
put
still smells.
You need to spin dry. Put your spools in the air fryer.
I just stick it again. When it rains, I just stick it out in the rain. Stick it out in the rain, then pop it in the air fryer. And it's fine.
Put my gloves on in the morning. A bit cold out there. Yeah. Pop them in the air fryer for 30 minutes.
I use my air fryer for. I even did pizza in the air fryer.
Really?
But you have to obviously you can't put it.
You are the Fanny Craddock of the air fryer. So I call you Fanny Fryer. I'll call you now.
I had to cut it into pieces, and it wasn't, and it was slightly curly at the edges. It's not pizza isn't ideal, but it's not the worst thing. I kind of thought, well, if you can do garlic bread, I'd already done garlic bread quite a lot, and I don't actually have enough. I have a grill that works, but my oven doesn't work anymore, so. There's literally no other way of doing pizza other than trying the air fryer because you can't really do it in the microwave.
But with your air fryer, you have to buy small pizzas, surely, because you haven't got one of those ninja ones that jumps out at you with two.
I've got a bigger drawer and a smaller drawer.
Well, that's enough about that. But what about your air fryer?
I can't remember what. I guess I'd say it was a medium-sized one that. A friend came to stay and he bought a pizza, and I was thinking, where do you think you're going to cook that? So I decided that, well, as we had it...
You could always cut it up, I suppose.
That's what I did. I cut it into... But even so, I had to sort of layer it a bit because there wasn't that much space. And I've done scrambled eggs, which are pretty good.
I've got a friend, he does his muffins in there.
I haven't done muffins, but I've done... I had
it moist, squidgy.
I'm glad to hear you like your muffins moist.
Well, surely that, and I throw this open to the audience. Surely that is the only way you can have a muffin.
I mean, you need. And when you say muffin, do you mean a cakey muffin or a bready muffin?
Oh no, I mean a cakey muffin.
Yeah,
they've got to be moist and
do
sort of.
Do you usually heat up your cakey muffin?
I do, only very quickly in the microwave, only for just enough to make the chocolate run.
Yeah.
I might have blueberries, but I put one in one day and forgot about it. Walked out of the kitchen, came back, and it exploded. And for weeks, I was literally shearing off bits of blueberry that had encrusted themselves into the wall of the microwave. I mean, it was terrible. I was having to get an angle grinder in and take them off. Don't cry. It was a waste of a muffin, I must admit.
because I've got to that sort of the ideal timings for half these things. I decided to do burgers when my friend came to visit, and then I thought which do very well, and fries and stuff, and then I just thought, well, I'm just going to chuck the because I got these buns, but they were what are they called?
CD?
What?
CD? Have you got CD buns?
They weren't. They were more of the chocolate bruschetta, not bruschetta.
Chocolate bruschetta buns with a...
No. I'm just trying to think of the word because it's not. It's
Were they like bruschetta buns?
Are they bruschetta?
Finger buns? Did you have a finger bun?
Are they? But I don't think that's quite the right word. Anyway, let's just say buns. Buns. I bought some. I just bought some buns and I chucked them in for the last 5 minutes so that they were a little bit crisped up, and that worked really. That worked really well. So
I always find that when I do beef burgers, like I open the drawer and the beef burgers are having a swim in whatever liquid is contained within them.
Yeah, I've been
have to have a good old drain.
I had to be a bit careful that.
And the chips get really soggy then, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I usually put the chips in one side and the burgers in the other. And I've also discovered that mini Baby Bell works quite well if you don't have like any cheddar on you. I always try and keep some mini baby.
Sorry, you put a whole mini Baby Bell into your air fryer.
No, I don't put it in. I don't put it in the. But I use that as the cheese.
Oh right,
I mean, it is cheese.
Yeah.
But if you slice it and you put it in the burger, the heat of the burgers melts it really nicely without you having.
I had visions of you putting a pile of mini Baby Bells in to have a fondue. Well, there's a thought, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, mostly I do just chuck it straight into the air fryer, except for the scrambled egg, which I put in a Pyrex.
You said that to me the other day. I'd never thought of doing that. I've seen a poached egg done in one of those tart things, some old tart tray. You used to have Mr. Kipling in it.
Yeah.
And they put an egg. Obviously, take the crumbs out. Well, they might not have. And they put the egg in, and they put it in, and they poached it in there.
I used to do.
I think your fridge is about to take off by the time.
Oh, that's my boiler.
Oh right.
I actually I just remember to turn off the heat. Shall I bother turning it off? Deals will be warm enough under the
Needless to say, we won't be eating from the air fryer this evening.
No. I used to do using one of those sort of trays or one of those poached egg type things. I used to do like omelettes in the mini little omelettes.
Really? All right.
And so you crack the eggs and whip them up, and then put them into the.
I didn't expect you to put them in a hole.
Into the Well, this was done on a poacher.
Well, there's a thought. If you put a whole egg in and you heat it up, does it hatch? And then you can just have chicken, couldn't you?
Never happened to me, but yeah, my mum and dad used to have one of those poachers where you just put the.
You put a poacher in there? Blimey, they eat the humans.
Oh, we live in the country.
We ate what we could catch.
Off my land. We used to have one of those poachers where you put the water in, then you put the 4 things into the, like sort of into a grid.
Oh yeah.
And I used. So
that was a big pan, wasn't it? You filled with water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. You put it on the hearth.
And then, but I'd whipped up omelette batter rather than an egg. And then maybe I chop some mushrooms or put some cheese, I was doing that when I was like in my early teens. I was quite experimental, but I'm surprised that isn't.
I've heard that. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah,
I'm banned.
I'm surprised it's not more of a popular thing to do because more recently my mum said, "Oh, how was it you used to make those like little omelette things?" So it's very simple.
I suppose you could make you could make Yorkshire puddings in there as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I was obsessed with making rock cakes. If you remember, I always used to bring rock cakes to the Doctor Who local group.
I think it must have been on days
when you could use them in hand-to-hand combat. They were deadly.
How many people choked on those?
Oh, so there we are.
Yeah.
Culinary delights.
Yes. It's not the first time on the Charlotte podcast. Listeners will remember when my mum and I have done cooking or mainly she did the cooking and I did the talking, describing what was happening. But,
so, from baked beans to air fryers.
Yeah.
Don't do your baked beans in your air
join us next time on the Shy Yeti cooking.
I'll be doing a whole flan.
I should be cooking a live commuter on a barbecue.
Well, thank you very much, Fanny Fryer.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Thank you, darling. And you too. Bye-bye.
Oh, that sounded good.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
What's going on now?
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
Deals, this is your life. This is your life. Deals, you were born in Clapham Common, I think. Not actually outside, in a house.
Was he?
I think it's Clapham Common or Clapham High Street.
Stories you could tell about Clapham.
Sorry?
Stories you could tell about Clapham.
Deals, can you tell us about Clapham? He didn't go outside.
Oh.
No. Deals, you've always lived in this house for all of your 20 years.
Does Deals not like going out?
Well, this was, only because he was very little when I met him. Well, I knew Deals before he was born. Well, no, I knew his mum before he was born.
Sorry, explain that. I knew Deals before he was born.
Yeah.
Before he was a glint in his mother's paw.
I don't know about that, but I always knew you were coming to live with me, Deals. Although at one point it might have been one of your brothers, but I mean, it's fine. I didn't have to tell you that. And Deals has always lived in this house, other than when he was very little. And yes, you've been here for 20 years.
Will you stop kissing me, please, Paul?
Oh, I'm sorry,
say that.
Sorry. Just thought you were craving affection. Deals, you come here. I'll kiss you instead. Deals has been here for 20 years now. Oh, look, he's sitting like a person. So his legs
uncomfortably.
Yeah. He has been here 20 years now because he came to me in December 2004. And now it's 2025, Deals. And he did live in... He's been on buses. He's been on tube trains. He's stayed in Brixton, in a house in Brixton, briefly. Haven't you? What else has happened in your life? You've been star of podcasting, star of calendars, star of book covers. You were turned into a fictional character in the Mouse of Common series. I still don't know why you weren't in more episodes of the Shy Yeti on Location, because I would have thought you would have been the main star of that. Don't you think? Yes. Anyway, now it's time for Deals to do a dance. No. We can't invite lots of your friends here because... Oh yes, Deals. Now you have to speak, like before the guest comes out. Deals, your next guest is about to come out onto the stage.
Am I coming out?
If you like. Deals, Yes, it's Warren.
Oh,
look,
sorry.
It's your old friend Warren, Deals.
I'll just get dressed. Won't be a moment.
It's your old friend Warren. Look. Hi, Deals. Deals.
I'm doing a bottom dance.
Deals isn't sure.
No. I'll sit down now.
Deals, do you remember Warren? You met him for the first time.
Deals just gave me the most disapproving look I've ever seen from a cat.
He's very he is.
Did not like my gyrating of my hips one bit.
He's very like Paddington. Poor Deals. This episode
marmalade, it's got marmalade sandwich under that hat.
Yeah, this episode of This Is Your Life hasn't gone so well, Deals, has it? Yeah.
No.
Hello. What's going on here? Hi, Comedy. We were just trying to do an episode of This Is Your Life with Deals as the guest. Oh, right. So, sounds like a normal day around this house. Pretty much, yes. Oh, hello, Warren. How are you?
I'm fine. How is yourself?
Oh, I'm just looking out the window and thinking I'm going to stay indoors.
You're looking well. You're looking really well.
Thank you. Yes, I've been busy. I have a treadmill installed down in the lab. It makes milkshakes.
Oh, fantastic!
And, so I can get all the boys to the yard. No.
What's your favourite milkshake?
That's not what I expect from you. You're dedicated to your job. Oh, you'd think so. Oh, you're.
He's dedicated to the boys in the yard.
It's the quiet ones are always quietest, aren't they? Yes, Paul. Anyway, we've just been out to lunch. We found Yeti Uncle John hiding in Warren's glove compartment. Again, that sounds very much like an everyday occurrence. Yeah, he got a whiff of wine gums. Oh, yes, well, wine gums. Were there any wine gums? No, no, he was just hallucinating, I think. Oh, what a pity. Yeah. And, well, I guess it's nearly the end of the episode. You would be right with that assumption, yes. And it's a shame. You could have come to the Harvester with us. Oh, how nice. We could have talked. But we couldn't have recorded due to copyright reasons. Oh dear. Have you been banned from speaking? Not exactly, but anyway.
He was banned from dancing on the tables.
Only a little bit. Again, sounds like a very normal day to me. True, very true. Anyway, that's it. Oh, is that it? All right then, goodbye. Goodbye, Comedy.
Bye, Comedy.
Goodbye. Well, Warren, thank you very much for coming and taking me out for lunch, even though we didn't hear much of the lunch. But that's probably for the best, because listeners don't like hearing people chewing that often. But
I had to put my teeth in as well.
Yeah. And I think we've presented a useful episode of cooking tips and nostalgia, plus some witty banter from Dean.
Fanny air fryer.
Yeah.
And his cooking tips.
Deals. You're very good. You're very full of witty banter, aren't you? Full of witty banter. Yes. Anyway, well, drive safe, and we'll see you again soon. And I think we escaped too much, Yeti Uncle John. So, goodness knows. At least we weren't bothered by the poopcasters this time. So, but I'm sure they'll have something to say about this episode.
Loved you all, dear listener. Loved you all.
Bye.
Bye.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Well, gotta tell you, I didn't expect that.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, because I lost... What's going on? What happened?
Man, was that worth it or not? Oh my goodness. That was a darling little shoe.
764.
Wow, I love that one.
764.
Great show, Paul. Yeah. That was a good shoe.
764.
That was beautifully done. I'm going to have some orange squash. Exciting.
You can always call me.
Oh, everyone's a critic.
Oi, oi, that's your lot.
Et voilà.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Don't wiggle me, Daddy.
Okay, stopping recording now.